So here it finally is, my review of Modern Warfare 3's multiplayer. The second Modern Warfare game in a row, and the third in the last 5 years. The fatigue is certainly kicking in. I'll be honest, getting gameplay for this review and trying to gauge an opinion on this game without being biased has been one of the most difficult experiences I've had since I started reviewing games on this channel. The combination of franchise fatigue and skill-based matchmaking has created a painful launch for Modern Warfare 3. But I suppose you did click on this video to hear my opinion. So without further ado, grab some popcorn whilst raging about skill-based matchmaking as I try...
They're gunning for me!
As I try... Oh, it, let's just get straight into this. Let's try and start somewhat positively. Like I mentioned in my campaign review, the sound design and realism aspect of this game is superb. Every gun sounds realistic, beefy, and they all differ from one another. To add to that, every kill and kill streak feels incredibly satisfying, with the pop-ups and kill feedback being a huge improvement from the bland ones we saw last year. The kill streaks themselves are similar to last year with a few new additions, and most of them are fun to use. Some of the higher ones can be really effective too. I would have liked to see the chopper gunner and AC-130 feel a little more powerful. As for me, the best option is still the 7-kill VTOL, which has been a staple of the last few Modern Warfare installments. The gunplay is smooth, and the hit reg feels responsive. This is probably one of, if not the most satisfying and exciting COD experiences when it's all going well. The movement is also great, and it's what the community has been asking for, with a high skill gap. This does cause some issues when skill-based matchmaking is involved, but we'll get onto that later. It's fast-paced and responsive, much like the gunplay, and it feels fun without being too unrealistic. The combination of the pop-ups, gunplay, and the movement create a great core gameplay experience. When it all comes together, and the matchmaking is in your favour, the core Modern Warfare 3 experience can be a blast. I do have a couple of complaints, but they are small, and Sledgehammer Games should be able to fix them. Firstly, I think the time to recover health is slightly too long, given that each player has 150 health. This means that after winning a gunfight, you're extremely vulnerable in the next, and it's just a bit too long, which makes the stim a must. But a slight tweak here would make it perfect. Also, I think the weapon balance favours assault rifles far too much. SMGs feel far too weak in comparison, and I feel they need slight buffs. Most of the other weapons in the game feel average, which leaves assault rifles to have a clear lead. The weapon pool is massive though, as all the Modern Warfare 2 guns are here, including the DLC ones which I haven't used yet, plus around 30 Modern Warfare 3 exclusive guns. I think it's fine for them to port over some of these guns like a classic M4, MP5 etc, but I think they instead could have removed a couple of the lesser used guns from last year and instead introduced some new weapons we haven't seen in this series yet. I mean, I'm no weapon expert, but surely in the modern era, there has to be some more interesting guns that could have been included with Modern Warfare 3. Core gameplay is something that Infinity Ward have failed to get right in the last couple of Modern Warfare installments, as their campy and slow gameplay has frustrated players in the last 2 games. They've failed to take on board feedback, and Sledgehammer Games have shown that with some better movement, the return of fan favourite perks, and some smooth gunplay, a Modern Warfare Call of Duty game can be fun at its core in 2023. Other than that, there isn't much to talk about on the gameplay side of things. The only new game mode really is War, which again returns from COD World War II, so it isn't really new, but it is a cool addition. But for the rest of the game, to put it simply, it's basically Modern Warfare 2 with all the gameplay changes that we wanted last year. 14 years ago, Infinity Ward gave us 16 of the most iconic maps of all time. From High Rise to Wasteland, there was something for everyone. A decade and a half later, and all these maps have been brought forward into the modern era of Call of Duty. But how has it turned out? Let's just get it clear that it's a damn shame we don't have any new maps in this game. Unfortunately, as this game is in my eyes DLC, I knew there would have to be some sort of compromise. Maybe if this game was marketed as such, it wouldn't be so disappointing. At least Sledgehammer have confirmed in Season 1 we will be receiving 3 new maps, which is already a step ahead of MW2, which gave us Shoot House and Shipment. The maps we do have currently in MW3 are really good as expected. Obviously High Rise, Scrapyard and Terminal all play great, but I think they've made other maps stand out as well. Underpass is a standout here for me, as in the original it was decent, but nowhere near the best. But in this game, not only does it look visually stunning, but it plays really well in a variety of different game modes. However, in my experience so far, some of the other maps don't really hold up like they once did, which was expected to be fair. Invasion and Afghan for me just don't play as well as they once did. They feel really slow and campy at times, which does give me slight flashbacks to Modern Warfare 2019. The great thing about this selection though is there's such a wide variety. We don't have to worry about a bland selection of maps like we saw in COD World War II, where they were all boring 3-lane maps. And we also don't have to worry about them being too large like we saw with Call of Duty Ghosts or Modern Warfare 2019. Back in 2009, I know it was quite a long time ago, but Infinity Ward knew how to make maps. And Sledgehammer have done a really good job in making slight adjustments where necessary and giving them a fresh coat of paint which makes them look awesome in 2023. We have the small maps like Rust, the 3-lane maps like Scrapyard, and the long-range maps like Derail. And love or hate any of these maps, what it guarantees is that from game to game you have a varied experience, which is something that COD games have been lacking for quite a while. If Derail comes up, then I might switch to my long-range assault rifle or sniper class. If Rust comes up, I might switch to an SMG or try and level up guns. My point is, there's always a choice of each game, which at the same time benefits other areas like class creation massively. Overall, it was a very controversial decision for Activision and Sledgehammer to rely on old maps for this game. But for Sledgehammer in particular, they were put under a lot of crunch, with only 16 months of reported development, so they had to make compromises in some areas. If you are going to bring back this set of maps, you have to do it right, and for updating the maps, aesthetics and gameplay, they've mostly done them justice. Here it comes, my yearly rant of skill-based matchmaking, and you might want to grab that popcorn again because it's going to be a tasty one. This is the worst system I've ever seen. We've had it bad since 2019, it's tarnished every game since then, but we are beyond the stage of tarnished now. Skill-based matchmaking, engagement-based matchmaking, whatever you want to call it, has decimated Modern Warfare 3. I mean seriously, no exaggeration, every single lobby I get stomped into the ground. I feel worthless in every game, and if I somehow do manage to slightly do above average, you best believe the next lobby is going to be torture. At this point, my KD is exactly where Activision wants it to be, at around 1, and I still get destroyed. This leads me to believe they're taking my previous games into account, in which my KD was slightly better, which they've been known to do in the past. Guess what, Activision? I'm no longer a teenager with no responsibilities, so I can't just sit at my desk all day and sweat Call of Duty. So how's about you stop treating my account like I snort G Fuel and haven't seen sunlight in the last week? If this is the case, I mean this is just the most stupid thing I've ever heard of. This is amplified by the fact there's forced crossplay in the game. Listen, I'll be the first to tell you that I'm so glad that crossplay is in Call of Duty now, as over the last 4 years, I've been able to play with people from PC and PlayStation that I wouldn't have played with otherwise. But why can't I just turn it off? I could turn it off in Modern Warfare 2019, but ever since last year, this has been removed. Are they that lazy now, or is it because the game doesn't have enough players? I have no idea. I'll let you in on a little secret though, so listen closely. Some controller players only want to play against controller players, as they don't like the high skill gap found in M&K. Likewise, some PC players hate aim assist and don't want to come up against controller players who have aim assist. So surely, like most games, they would have an option not to matchmake with these players. But no, not Modern Warfare 3. Instead, we're forced to play against other inputs which we don't want to play against. I'm sure there's plenty of PC players who hate getting screwed over by aim assist. And I can say myself as a controller player, I'd rather not come up against people with insane aim and recoil control on PC when I'm not playing with my friends that are on PC. It's a lose-lose for everyone, yet Activision can't see it. Skill-based matchmaking shouldn't be here in the first place, but it gets worse, and it's tracking me based on how I was 3 to 4 years ago. It's downright insanity. I'm sure that if you completely took away this matchmaking system, which by the way takes longer than COD games that are over 10 years old because it's trying to find you the most accurate skill lobby, if you gave it a matchmaking system akin to the original Modern Warfare trilogy, then yes, I'm sure this game would be so much more fun. But unfortunately for Sledgehammer Games, despite all the changes they've made to this game to make it more fun, and under all the pressure of Activision, This game is nearly unplayable due to the backward system which we just cannot get rid of. What's that I hear you saying? You want another rant? Well, I'm here to provide it. Why, and I mean why, is the classic prestige mode not here? Who, and I mean who, wants the seasonal progression? What benefit does it have? None. Absolutely nothing. I haven't cared about my rank for the past 5 COD games. It's all about the camo grind now, but I'm tired of it. I don't want to spend this year playing Rust 24/7, and I don't want to sit at the back of derail going for long shots. I just want to play the damn game. And whilst I'm playing the damn game, I want to level up. I want to hit level 55, make the choice to prestige, lose all my stuff, permanently unlock an item, and go again. I want to show off my prestige icon in the lobby. I want to hit master prestige. I want to do all these things, but I can't. Instead, I can hit level 55. Oh, sorry, were you expecting more? No, that's it, that's all I can do. I have to wait if I want to go past that. And then I have to wait again until I can get past that. You get the point, this system is rubbish. Apparently Sledgehammer wanted a prestige system, but Activision said no. And at this point, I just give up. What more can Sledgehammer do to try and make this game slightly more fun? Sledgehammer Games and all the small teams working behind the scenes to put out this game, I just want to say thank you. Despite the huge crunch that you've been reportedly put under over the last year, you've managed to put out a somewhat serviceable game. You've done your part, and pretty much all the shortcomings of this experience can be traced back to Activision, and their need to ruin matchmaking and the progression. Unfortunately, as this game is multiplayer, matchmaking and progression is everything, so it ruins a lot of the work Sledgehammer put in. The team has been so active with the community, listening to us, working on feedback, and being open and honest, and for the first time ever, as of the recording of this video, it seems they've acknowledged skill-based matchmaking and might be making some adjustments. I'm not getting my hopes up, but this is huge, and hopefully it can improve this game and the series going forward. This is so tough to give a score to, but Modern Warfare 3 for me gets a 63 out of 100 score. The combination of an excruciating skill-based matchmaking system, a reliance on old content, and awful progression put a huge damper on this game. The gameplay at its core, removing all the matchmaking issues, all the behind the scenes issues, is fantastic. They listened to the feedback from last year, and they acted upon it, which Infinity Ward failed to do. The maps, whilst they are reused content, are great remasters, and once again, as Infinity Ward have shown, it's not the easiest task to port them over. You have to make them work with the current game, and they've mostly done that. The fact they are reused is a shame, and it does reduce the score a little bit. But what brings down this game the most is the matchmaking and the progression. If I tried looking at this game with a prestige system in place, and a return to a traditional matchmaking system of some kind, then honestly, this game could be as high as the mid-80s, and I'd be giving it praise that it deserves, and I and many others would be playing the COD game that we deserve. But here we are, we're at the release of Modern Warfare 3, the most frustrating and disappointing COD game of all time, and that's something we've been saying every year. But as I said in my review of last year's game, with Activision in charge, I cannot see anything changing anytime soon.